Live from Waterford and the Virgin Media Broadband Studio in Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Eimear McKeown. Today's top stories: Gardaí investigating a spate of burglaries in Waterford City. A Waterford TD says the budget has failed workers and families. Waterford firm Talk says its new owner is keen on creating a technology hub in the region. And in sport, Waterford County Board refused permission to play their two Munster Senior Championship games in Nolan Park in 2020. Gardaí in Waterford City are investigating 3 burglaries which happened in close proximity yesterday evening. WLR's Sinead Ahern has the details.
The occupant of a house in Wilkin Court left home for a short time at 8 o'clock last evening and returned 15 minutes later to find the front door forced open. Burglars had gone through the house and a small amount of cash was taken. The patio door of a house in the Grange was smashed and the house ransacked. That happened sometime before 8:15 p.m. A house in Grange Heights was also burgled between 7 and 8 o'clock. Entry was gained through a rear window, however nothing seems to be missing. Gardaí are appealing to anyone who noticed anything suspicious in these areas between 7 and 8:15 p.m. in particular last evening to contact them on 051 305 300.
A spokesperson for the Garda Representative Association believes an assault on members of the force in Waterford could have been prevented if they were armed with tasers. 4 Gardaí were bitten in the arms, kicked and threatened as they tried to arrest a man in Waterford City yesterday morning. Paul Anderson from the GRA says a taser alone is a deterrent.
I would say if these guys had the tasers, the Gardaí in question have the tasers that we would like them to have and we've been calling for, then the incident probably wouldn't have happened at all, because simply producing a taser, according to research, can actually de-escalate 90% of situations.
Meanwhile, a man arrested in connection with the incident was charged at Waterford Garda Station last night. He was released on his own bail and is due to appear before Waterford District Court on the 27th of October. A file is also being prepared for the DPP with a view to further charges. A Waterford TD says the budget failed to ease the pressure on workers and families. Sinn Féin's public expenditure and reform spokesperson David Cullinan says both Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil have favoured bankers and developers and not ordinary people. He says the budget does not address the difficulties being faced by those in the rental market.
We called for an emergency rent freeze and to provide a tax relief to renters equal to 1 month of their rental costs. Again, you've done nothing. Nothing that tackles the high price of rents. They're just left paying these rents year on year. Nothing in terms of affordable housing of any significance. Nothing for those people who need local authority housing.
He says the childcare area has been ignored in the budget.
We put forward solutions as well in terms of increased investment in childcare and also to improve the pay and conditions of childcare workers. Your government has done nothing again. You've left those people behind.
The Taoiseach says the government will not drop the carbon tax increase announced in Budget 2020. Carbon tax has been raised by €6 per tonne, which has resulted in increases in petrol, diesel and home heating. Leo Varadkar told the Dáil that the facts show that raising the tax will help to combat climate change.
If you don't believe me, that's fine. But listen to the 27 Nobel Prize winners who have spoken on this. Listen to all of the people who really care about our climate and improving our environment. And they all say the same thing. They say that carbon tax on its own won't stop climate change. But we won't stop climate change without it. It has to be part of the picture.
A Waterford auctioneer says the €1.1 billion for social housing in the budget is very welcome, but the time frame for building is not possible. Minister Paschal Donoghue says 11,000 social houses will be built in 2020, with a further 12,000 in 2021. Des Purcell says the current planning process does not allow for such a quick turnaround.
This is October 2019. Minister says he'll build 11,000 houses in 2020. I'm saying, on record, on air, we wouldn't have the planning this day 12 months at the back end of 2020. I think it's laudable that they're saying there will be 11,000 social houses built. I welcome that, but it won't happen in 2020.
Waterford firm Eimear says its new owner is keen on creating a technology hub in the region. Indian company Infosys BPM has bought Eimear, which employs 1,400 people across its offices in Waterford, Wexford and Clonmel. Speaking to Damien Tiernan on Daysha Today, CEO of Eimear, Heather Reynolds, says she believes the acquisition will bring big brands to the southeast.
Obviously, we already have done quite a lot over the last 2 years. You see a lot of activity yourself in terms of the technology and jobs in that sector for the region. And I would say Infosys would only complement that in terms of their plans. Our main client was BT, as everybody knows. We're very confident that the roadmap with Infosys will bring other big brand names like BT to the region. They see frontline customer care as a strategic advantage. And we're very well placed, I think, which is what Infosys are buying to deliver that for them.
She outlines what the acquisition means for staff.
As owners, what we've done is negotiated in the background to make sure that, first and foremost, everyone's safe, because that's obviously a key priority. And that is also what Infosys are investing in. So it's not a case of they're coming in to do their own thing. They're buying Eimear because they need what we deliver. And that obviously comes down to the people we have. So everyone that exists in the business today will transfer into the Infosys world.
The Garda Commissioner says the force is considering imposing double penalty points for motorists caught speeding on bank holiday weekends. In New South Wales and Australia, double penalty points are issued to drivers who break the rules of the road at high risk times. The head of the Garda Roads Policing Unit told a road safety conference earlier this week that such a system could be looked at. And Commissioner Drew Harris says it's something Gardaí are considering.
What we're trying to see is what are the next steps we need to take in terms of road safety. We've reached a point where I think we need to look at new innovations, and one of those innovations might be in respect of penalties and focusing on more dangerous times on the road. So that could be bank holidays or indeed the early hours of the morning. So that is certainly an initiative that's worth considering, but it's a number of things that we'd wish to consider as well.
University Hospital Waterford is the third worst hit hospital in the country today for patients on trolleys. According to the IMO, 577 admitted patients are waiting for beds at hospitals nationwide today. University Hospital Limerick is the worst affected, with 70 people on trolleys. That's followed by 51 at Cork University Hospital and 41 at University Hospital Waterford.
WLR Sport.
The Waterford County Board have been refused permission to play their two Munster Senior Championship games in Nolan Park in 2020. With Walsh Park due for an overhaul, the board made an inquiry about moving the games to Kilkenny. Paddy Joe Ryan, the chairman of the Waterford County Board, says they could not secure a seconder for the proposal.
Well, yeah, we looked at Nolan Park as being a suitable venue. We made a request to the Munster Council, but we, at the CCC meeting, our delegate Pat Grant, even failed to get a second, but he made a great case for it. But, you know, the Munster Council feel all Munster Championship games have to be played inside the province. It's not the same for Leinster, as we all know, but that's the decision of the council, that's the decision of the county, so we have to abide by that decision.
Paddy Joe Ryan told WLR Sport that they were not surprised by the decision not to allow the games be played in Nolan Park.
We were half expected, Matt, you know, we were half expected because, you know, the counties feel the money generated should stay inside the province, I suppose. And, you know, we've been great benefactors of money from Munster Council as well on the other side of the coin, you know. But like the plan at the moment is that I think Liam Cahill, I didn't hear him saying, but somebody told me, he said that we'll be playing our games in Walsh Park. So the redevelopment, whatever we'll have done or won't have done, it looks as if we're not started, won't start left for Munster Championship next year. But hopefully we'll have some of those things in place, and we might, with everything going well, have a redeveloped standby next year.
Meanwhile, newly appointed Waterford hurling boss Liam Cahill has added former players Stephen Malumphey and Stephen Frampton to his backroom team of selectors for 2020. The appointments were confirmed last night, with Malumphey and Frampton set to work alongside Cahill and coach Michael Bevans for the next 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Tipperary manager Liam Sheedy says Liam Cahill is a brilliant appointment as Waterford senior hurling manager. He says he knows him well from their playing days with Tipperary.
Very, very straight guy, very sound guy, you know, very steeped in hurling, you know, married to Lynn Gaynor's daughter. So yeah, look, there's G everywhere you turn with Liam Cahill, and as I said, I've been in his company socially. We've shared a dressing room together, and obviously we worked very closely together last year. So top class guy.
And you can hear more from Liam Sheedy on Friday's Lauren Laporca with Tomás McCarthy from 6:10 here on WLR. Now to soccer. Liam Buckley, the Sligo Rovers manager, has blasted the fixture chaos which has been one of the main talking points of this season's League of Ireland Premier League. Sligo had to play Waterford FC in the RSC last night due to the fact that the Blues are travelling to Scotland to play in the Scottish Challenge Cup on Friday. The same night Sligo were due to play Waterford. Liam Buckley says it's a serious problem that will have to be addressed.
Stupid amount of stupid fixtures this year, and I've no doubt all the managers will have said the same right through the season. I just can't understand how they can upload so many games at the start of the season and throw in. There's one of the teams playing 3 games next week, and the last week of the season they're going to have to play 3 games. It just needs to be looked at, and something has to be done.
Waterford FC defeated Sligo Rovers 2-0 last night. Next up for the Blues is a trip to Stenhousemuir in Scotland on Friday night. Manager Alan Reynolds says he selected his team for the game.
Yeah, delighted. We've set targets as we keep talking about, and I suppose one of the targets is maybe to catch Sligo. That's one, and we've prepared well for it, and the lads have applied themselves right. My fear was that after winning Friday they take the foot off the pedal, and I think we could have been 2 or 3 up at half time, and I know the second half just seen itself out and was poor, but I thought in the first half we were really aggressive in the way we went about our business.
Finally, to rugby, Scotland ran in 9 tries in a 61 points to 0 defeat of Russia in Pool A at the Rugby World Cup. It leaves Japan on 14 points, Ireland on 11 and Scotland on 10 entering the last round of pool matches. Ireland play Samoa on Saturday. That's the latest on WLR. Our next bulletin is at 2.